In the midst of summer, 2004, a young woman vanished during her morning jog. The truth behind her disappearance left everyone around speechless. Born on December 31, 1976, in Fullerton, California, Lori K. Suarez entered the world as the adopted daughter of Thelma and Geraldo Suarez. Geraldo, a respected Spanish and Portuguese teacher, and Thelma, known for her boundless compassion, provided a nurturing environment for their beloved daughter. Lori's early years were filled with warmth and love, creating a foundation for her vibrant spirit to flourish. The Suarez family's journey took an unexpected turn when Thelma and Geraldo answered the call to serve as missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Rio de Janeiro. Amidst the bustling streets of Brazil, their paths intertwined, forging bonds of love and faith that would shape their lives forever. Despite their shared mission, the strains of distance and duty proved insurmountable, leading to the dissolution of their marriage in 1987. Following the upheaval of divorce, Thelma and young Lori sought solace in the tranquil embrace of Orem, Utah. A haven nestled amidst the rugged beauty of the Wasatch Range, Orem offered a fresh start for the mother-daughter duo. Here, amidst the majestic mountains, Lori's path crossed with that of Mark Hacking, a fellow student at Orem High School. Little did they know, their innocent teenage romance would spiral into a tragic tale of betrayal and loss. Lori and Mark's romance blossomed during their high school years, and they soon became inseparable. They both graduated from Orem High School and continued their education in Utah. Their relationship seemed perfect to those around them, and they were often described as a happy and loving couple. Lori, known for her bright and caring nature, and Mark, charming and outgoing, appeared to have a promising future ahead of them. In 1999, Lori and Mark tied the knot, embarking on what they believed would be a lifelong journey together. Lori worked as a stockbroker's assistant at Wells Fargo, while Mark was pursuing a medical degree. Their relationship appeared perfect to those around them. Mark was very smart and loved doing word puzzles. He was always helping others. Sometimes he was late for a date with Lori because he'd helped to fix something in a neighbor's house. Mark's friends and family described him as outgoing and romantic, while Lori was private and practical. They were different. They say opposites attract, recalled Lori's brother, Paul Suarez. Their life seemed idyllic, with plans to move to North Carolina. The couple, married for 5 years, was on the cusp of a new adventure. Mark, who had graduated with honors from the University of Utah, was accepted to a prestigious medical school in North Carolina. Lori had resigned from her job, and their belongings were packed for the move to Chapel Hill. Adding to their joy, Lori had recently shared the news that she was 5 weeks pregnant. However, an ordinary morning of July 19, 2004, took a sinister turn. Mark Hacking called 911, reporting that Lori had gone jogging and hadn't returned. Detectives were puzzled by the disappearance of Lori, who had seemingly vanished without a trace. Her car was found parked near the canyon where she had gone running. A search began, with many volunteers joining to help. Mark expressed his gratitude for their support while speaking in front of television cameras. As the day turned to night, the situation grew more bizarre. In the early hours of July 20th, police responded to a disturbance at a nearby hotel where they found Mark Hacking running around wearing nothing but a pair of shoes. Had he gone mad from grief? Or was there more to the story? Mark's family quickly admitted him to the psychiatric unit at University Hospital, further deepening the mystery surrounding Lori's disappearance. The initial investigation painted a harrowing picture. The last time 27-year-old Lori K. Suarez Hacking was seen alive in public was on the night of July 18, 2004. She and her 29-year-old husband, Mark Hacking, stopped by a convenience store in Salt Lake City, Utah, where they lived. Early the next morning, Mark reported Lori missing. Mark's 911 call at 10:49 a.m. on July 19th claimed Lori had gone for her usual jog in the Memory Grove and City Creek Canyon area, northeast of downtown Salt Lake City, but had not returned. A witness initially reported seeing Lori near the grove but later recanted her statement. Suspicions arose when investigators discovered inconsistencies in Mark's story. Despite claiming to be searching for Lori, he was seen purchasing a new mattress during crucial hours. Furthermore, evidence found in their apartment, including Lori's belongings, her purse, wallet, and car keys, and a hunting knife with stains, pointed towards foul play. The driver's seat in Lori's car had been positioned for someone taller than her, and stains were found in the vehicle's back seat. Amidst the unfolding drama, the truth began to emerge. Mark was living a double life. Lori had been planning their move to North Carolina, believing her husband was about to start medical school. However, police discovered that despite telling everyone he was on the path to becoming a doctor, Mark had never completed his undergraduate degree and had fabricated his acceptance to medical school. Lori's brother Paul recounted Mark's elaborate deception, including a staged trip to New York for a fake interview at Columbia University. This revelation shocked Mark's family, who valued education highly. His father was a pediatrician, his mother was a nurse, and his brothers had careers in science. The once promising future the couple had envisioned unraveled into a web of deceit. With Mark's mental state in question and the shocking revelations about his lies, the investigation into Lori's disappearance took a dark and unexpected turn. Authorities wasted no time in apprehending Mark, suspecting him of the aggravated murder of his wife. They pieced together a harrowing sequence of events, alleging that Mark acted alone, using a .22 caliber rifle to fatally end Lori's life. The arrest, made on August 2, 2004, brought to light the chilling details of Lori's tragic demise. The evidence against Mark was damning. Stains found in various locations within the couple's residence, along with incriminating details provided by his own brothers, Scott and Lance Hacking, painted a compelling picture of guilt. In the psychiatric hospital, Mark confessed to his brothers on July 24th that he had ended Lori's life and disposed of her body in the trash. Her body was buried under more than 2,000 tons of garbage. Despite facing mounting accusations, Mark initially maintained his innocence. However, the discovery of human remains in the Salt Lake County landfill on October 1, 2004, served as a grim confirmation of Lori's fate. Searchers discovered the carpet that Mark confessed to rolling her body into before disposing of it in the dumpster. It brought closure to the agonizing search for Lori and further solidified the case against Mark. Yet, even in the face of overwhelming evidence, Mark persisted in pleading not guilty. His refusal to confess compounded the grief of Lori's loved ones, prolonging their anguish as they sought closure and justice. In the months leading up to the trial, prosecutors meticulously pieced together a damning case against Mark Hacking. Prosecutors presented evidence showing the extent of Mark's deception, including his fabricated academic achievements. Mark's defense team attempted to portray him as a man under immense pressure, arguing that his mental state played a significant role in his actions. They brought in forensic psychologists to testify about Mark's psychological profile, suggesting that his fear of failure and the pressure to meet his family's expectations drove him to commit the crime. Despite these arguments, the evidence against Mark was overwhelming. Former FBI profiler Candace DeLong thought Mark deliberately misled psychiatrists while running without clothing. He kept his shoes on, his sandals. That's not generally something we see in someone truly psychotic. Another important piece of evidence was the couple's cut-up mattress found in a dumpster, as well as a receipt for a new mattress that Mark bought before calling the police on the day his wife disappeared. The prosecution meticulously detailed the timeline of events, showing how Mark's actions on the night of July 18th and the early morning of July 19th were premeditated and deliberate. Lori had discovered Mark's deception on July 16th when she received a phone call from the University of North Carolina revealing that Mark had never enrolled. Devastated, she left work in tears. The tension between the couple culminated on the night of July 18th. After visiting the convenience store together, Mark was later seen returning alone around 1 a.m. on surveillance footage. The next morning, Mark reported Lori missing, claiming she went for a jog and never returned. His subsequent actions, including purchasing a new mattress before calling 911, raised suspicions. Lori had confronted Mark about his lies on the night before her disappearance. In a handwritten letter, she expressed her disillusionment and declared her intention to leave him. This confrontation likely triggered Mark's violent response. Tragically, Mark ended Lori's life while she slept by shooting her in the back of the head and then disposed of her body in a dumpster. Despite his attempts to cover up the crime, including his hospitalization in a psychiatric ward, Mark's guilt eventually caught up with him. Mark had been deceiving everyone in his life, including his wife. Instead of confessing, he made the unthinkable decision to end Lori's life to cover up his lies. Dr. Kathy Yates, a forensic psychologist, noted that Mark's ability to deceive with precision indicated a level of intelligence. She said it wasn't surprising to learn about Mark's ability to dupe those closest to him. Despite his outward affection for Lori, Mark's fear of failure and the pressure to meet his family's high expectations drove him to a devastating act of violence. The real tragedy is that Lori would have loved Mark regardless of his career. He didn't have to be a doctor, a president, whatever it was. As long as he was doing his best, she would have loved him, said Paul Suarez. However, Mark couldn't face the prospect of disappointing Lori or his family, leading him to commit the ultimate betrayal. On April 15, 2005, Mark Hacking entered a guilty plea to first-degree murder, a decision reached in exchange for prosecutors dropping other charges against him. At the sentencing, he said, "She was the greatest thing that ever happened to me, but I killed her and took the life of my unborn child and put them in the garbage, and I can't explain why I did it." On June 6, 2005, Hacking was handed the maximum possible sentence under Utah law at the time, 6 years to life in prison. However, the indeterminate nature of Utah's prison sentences meant that his release would be contingent upon the Utah Board of Pardons' decision. In a significant move, the Utah Board of Pardons declared in July 2005 that Hacking would not even be considered for parole until at least 2035. This decision reflected the severity of his actions and the profound impact they had on Lori's loved ones. Board Chairman Mike Sibbett emphasized that the hearing did not guarantee a release date, citing numerous aggravating factors in Hacking's case. Lori's grieving mother Thelma expressed gratitude to the board for upholding justice. She underscored the insult felt by her family due to the 6-year minimum imposed by law, reaffirming her faith in the justice system. Following his conviction, Mark Hacking began serving his time at the Central Utah Correctional Facility. During his time in prison, Mark's life took on a new routine, far removed from the lies and deceit that had defined his previous existence. He spent his days confined to a cell, reflecting on the actions that led to his incarceration. In an attempt to come to terms with his crimes, Mark began writing a life history, documenting his experiences and the choices that had brought him to this point. Despite his efforts to make amends, Mark's behavior behind bars continued to draw attention. In 2006, it was discovered that he was selling personal items, including autographs and prison forms, on a murder memorabilia website. This controversial move prompted scrutiny from prison officials. Mark agreed to discontinue selling anything online. In his letters to Lori's mother, Mark expressed remorse for his actions, acknowledging the irreparable harm he had caused. Thelma, who had chosen to forgive Mark for her own peace of mind, maintained a correspondence with him, seeking some semblance of closure. Mark's father read a statement on behalf of the Hacking family, expressing their continued grief and the hope that Mark would one day become the man Lori believed he could be. The statement ended by quoting Mark, "I know prison is where I need to be. I will spend my time there doing all I can to right the many wrongs I have done, though I realize complete atonement is impossible in this life. To the many people I have hurt, I am more sorry than you could ever know. Every day my soul burns in torment when I think of what you must be going through. There is no such thing as a harmless lie, no matter how small it is. You may think a lie only hurts the liar, but this is far from the truth. If you are traveling a path of lies, please stop now and face the consequences. Whatever those consequences, they will be better than the pain you are causing yourself and others." Lori's family took steps to honor Lori's memory and distance her legacy from Mark. They made a decision to remove the name Hacking from Lori's headstone, replacing it with the Portuguese word meaning little daughter, reflecting their enduring love and affection for her. The sentencing of Mark Hacking drew widespread attention and sparked discussions about the justice system and sentencing laws in Utah. Many expressed outrage at the possibility of Hacking being eligible for parole after just 6 years, highlighting perceived inadequacies in the state's sentencing guidelines for murderers. This public outcry ultimately led to legislative action. On March 20, 2006, Utah House Bill 102 was signed into law. It is also known as Lori's Law. It mandates a minimum 15-year sentence for those convicted of first-degree murder in Utah. This change was a direct response to the outcry over Mark Hacking's initial sentence and aimed to ensure that justice would be more appropriately served in future cases. Could you find it in your heart to forgive the murderer? Share your thoughts in the comments.